Well, good evening. I'm your host, Robert Wilson with Cowboy Wisdom and Cowboy Wisdom Hypno Acuity. Tonight's podcast is 7 ways why I'm awake and aware of the dare of my individual wise leadership. Go forward to move your life forward. I now understand and esteem my individual wise leadership, sheens my internal nerve. Dawn's inspired visionary, intuitive designer, their devilry. Unsheathes my animated listeners' wisdom. Invigorates sassy, entertaining, lyrical elegance. Animates dreamers' endeavoring revelations. Hellraisers' indigenous prowess that wows me to ask, why is my life an awakened aware dare, unlocking and letting fly my individual wise leadership that unblocks and embellishes my sleek, unique talents, that unsheathes my trailblazer adventurers, listeners' enterprising nerve, titillates spectacular events, encounters, and experience, that rises me out of my sheepalocracy, a stuck in socialized thinking and knowing followerocracy. See, most of the leadership we hear out there has a corporate ingrained things, and everybody does what they say they do, but yet they never really do anything more than want you to fit in to the socialized way of life. Individual leadership comes from right here, and you listen for it. And what really is awakening you to understand you are an individual, but you got an individualist internal sassy tenacity. An individualist is somebody that's not controlled by outside sources. And really, your individual wise leadership rises you out of corporate clone leadership of business coaches, leadership gurus, political science, professors, arrogant opinions and viewpoints and beliefs of people looking down upon you or the middle class. You know, I'm middle class, and I'm really starting to really adhere to it, because what I've witnessed when the people get all the education, they lose the communication skills, and they put up a barrier of, you ain't educated, you can't talk to me. And that's a very much a prevalent thing in the world today. But when you really start talking to them, what they really are is strapped and claps in the box of education. Education never teaches you how to communicate about anything beyond that education. And education's good, but it's also a limitation. Everything in life the greatest thing since apple pie, but even apple pie has its limitations. That's what I mean. When you when you break through something and you get to your desired outcome, after you celebrate it, it's a new limitation. Because we try to think and know and everything, but we never go anywhere. And see, something I got a class coming out next week, blue collar leadership. It's going to take the blue collar to lead us out of this, because the higher educated is caught up in the third world business mindset and education, and they never understand it's within them. And see, I'm awakened and aware of the dare to understand and admit to control a country. You educate the teachers, professors with the philosophies and doctrines of the silent controllers of the world, so you can control people within that system. And that is very prevalent today. You know, the more you educate them, the more you educate them, the more you lie to them, the bigger the lie, the more you tell it, the more they'll believe it. And that's what the education and business system is today. Because if you really look at the flat of the world, we're stuck in yesterday. But that's okay, because we're here today to open trend setting, optimistic daredevilry, aggrandizing the yazza pizzazz of my jazzed up lifestyle. And the more, and what really they do us is they tell us how to think, do, and act in our daily life, and then we fall prey to it. Of course, I did. Everything you can set up here and say, oh, I did this, and I got rid of this, and oh, you can get rid of this and all this. Everything somebody's telling you to get rid of, they've done it, or else they're going to do it. And see, that's something I really learned I opened up to in the self-help, personal growth, self-improvement world and the psychology written books. They tell you what to do, but have they done it themselves? See, anybody can think they did it here. It isn't until you feel it, listen, and observe right here from your gut up. And that's where your leadership comes from, is down here. And that's where life will really open you up to, is right here. And the more I open up to understand the wisdom, insight, clarity, the gut gumption, intuition, imagination, it flows from here. It may come in from up here, but it flows to me. And once you hit the something hits here, it's going to go here. But it's like your inner dialogue. Until you stop it and it gets past here, you're going to stay in your comfort zone. I know I did. We can all say we're superheroes. We can be, when somebody tells me and they put out that they're tough, and they're really putting kind of a braggart spin on it, a braggart is never tough. The soft-spoken are the sassy tenacity of life. And I've witnessed this so many times. So the more I listen with the quiet attitude of my forthright foresight, I like my light of life to take flight. As I'm awakened and aware of the dare to understand individual wise leadership never is binded inside the guidelines of socialized sheepalocracy. Sheepalocracy is just the sheeple. We do whatever we're told without questioning it. And see, I look at this and I look at the founding fathers. I'm wondering when they're going to come back and smack me on the back of the head and say, hey, when are you going to wake up and do something? Because it's going to take people communicating with each other to rise out of this situation we're in. We're spinning the world in kind of a bake and bake way. We think, oh yeah, we got technology. I'll write something with AI, and that's something I really want to say. Everybody says they got a lot of money, but your money's all fake. It's fiat currency. It's a borrowed money. It's a Federal Reserve note. And see, the harder we go, the more it goes away. But you got to communicate with money. And gold and silver is the only intrinsic value of money there is. But when you get into the sheepalocracy, you follow what these do, you do what these tell you, you follow the business leaders. When somebody is trained with a corporate mindset, they're never going to be able to talk to the hourly workers without putting a stain way of life on it, because they're going to want you. They talk from the business, from the management. A lot of times, the management aren't very good leaders. Usually, they're the best followers in the group, and they're not going to push anything uphill. And see, till the world and the workers and everybody starts pushing things uphill, we're going to stay in the demagoguery of yesterday. If you look at the world, today is yesterday, because we do the same things without us realizing it. And the sheepocracy keeps people bitching, squawking, and talking about education. And as businesses, the answers and solutions for the world is status quo of never go. How is a world where you only have to look at today. You don't even have to go back. What is different today than it was a month ago? Nothing. That's because we're using the same thinking, thoughts, mindset, and status quo to stay the same. We can never rise until people understand their individualized leadership will unleash that spirited entrepreneur within you, because it's going to take entrepreneurs and not necessarily the ones following all the so-called superstar gurus, because all you're doing is spinning the same thing they're spinning. And I went to a lot of these in the last 3 years, and all they're doing is spinning the same thing. If you really sit back and look at personal growth, self-help, self-improvement, it's like, what is different between this program, and this program? To me, there's nothing, but that's up to you. You got to discover that for yourself. As I'm now awakened and aware of the dare of my daredevil audacity, realizing emancipating acuity to communicate my sleek, unique talents, given me a raise out of the socialized brainwashing. What everybody else does instantly buzzes me with sovereign liberation. To be awakened, aware of the dare of my dreamer's audacity. Rebellious, energizing, politically incorrect inspiration dissolves politically correct perfection programming of other people's opinions, beliefs, and viewpoints, stuck in the suck of their male ego stupidity. And that's something I've really awakened to. And the male ego has been controlling the world since the beginning of time. We don't think it is, and we think this, and we think that. When you really polish off all the muckety gunk and shine it up and polish it, you can see we've been controlled by the male egotistical illiteracy of the world. And that's something we all think. And then we listen to the Wall Street shows, we listen to the media, which is owned by 7 corporations or 7 people. Then we're getting the funk of their gunk, and then we stay in the funk of ourselves. Everything we're trying to do is raise out of our own funk. And something that I really want you to understand, you are a free-flowing energy, but yet you listen to the free-flowing energy of your spirit prowess, wisdom, insight, clarity, intuition, imagination, innovation, because it's detached from the thinking, knowing mind, and it rises you out of the socialized brainwashing of life. And if you really sit back and listen and get very honest with yourself, you'll see the third world enslaving mindset flowing through the world, and how education is has you strapped inside a box of what everybody else wants you to know. So if I can get you to think and do the same thing as somebody else, being afraid to go forward, how easy is it to control that world? Now I'm awakened to the way of the dare to rise in my spirit prowess, wisdom, insight, and clarity. Enjoy my life of leisure, rising to my seashores, a stunning flowing of abundances of health, wealth, fun, moneyed up, and just enjoying life's leisure now and forevermore. What I'm really opening up to here about this leadership, there's no book and there's no education going to show you your individual leadership. You're going to discover that leadership from in here. And the more you feel your life and listen to right here, well, here on, the more you're going to rise of your enterprising wizardry. People are talented, but we're not talented according to socialized boundaries. And that's something I really want to emphasize to people. Boundaries are limitations and fears. Because once you set a boundary, you never go beyond it. But I've witnessed it on the internet somewhere the other day. You set a boundary, and then you can stand behind that boundary and you can really tell people what to do. And you can really tell them off. Well, all you're doing is telling them your fears. Every word that comes out of your mouth is about you, some way, somehow. And ridicule and criticism is nothing but fear. And you're really just telling the world your insecurities. So as you move forward and you rise of your individualized leadership, you listen every day, appreciating daily energy, realizing sassy hellraisers intuition propels you forward for you to enjoy life. So as you rise of your individual leadership, you really start playing on your fields of foresight, ingenuity every day, loving daily safaris. I'm going to thank you. My throat's going out. So thank you.